arms are raging high. We know we shall win, yeah. We know we'll survive, yeah. Just shall wash away all the tears. Good morning, Narongo. Good morning, Isaac. Then I can't talk about camera. You need breath. Good morning, Abby. Man, sorry to madem moro kamunonge mboze kuta katinga tuge yabantu. Tubade tuge ya. If a couple has been together for so long and they still have things to talk about, just know they are talking about people. So tubade tuinabe tuge ya. Chris Mugwanya, good morning. Kakai, how are you? Amin, a blessed new week, guys. Kakai anzijukiza. But do you guys realize Suzayo? September, October, November, December. We have 4 months for the last quarter of the year. So I mean, you have to look at the goals you had. Banang is the goals in Naina. Ezimu zachu ukanenkola mu endala. Nesina goal gisatu ukiriza. I'm going to look at the thing again. Kumpi buli goal either najichusa chifula nenge nenga nazitukiriza. Ezimu nazitukiza lwampaka. Ezimu zali za lwampaka. Nenga nazitukiza. How have you achieved your goals? You as a person. The way you love me. Deep in coffee, good morning. So today we are talking vans. For the people that have wanted to buy newer. In your face. So the guys that have wanted to buy newer, the guys that have wanted to buy Alphard. Deep in coffee orugambo. That's how we keep the relationship moving. We know kwako nebimuogerako. Toyenza mutakola lugambo. Bemwogera idea nezigwayo. Yamuweka webwaisa kuyigiza okubeera humble. Do you remember this wrong guy? He was rushing, overtaking everything. Now I'm behind him. He even wanted to overtake in a very bad corner and asanga trader. That wrong person. If you're my follower and you're watching this broadcast, you drive very badly. Yet at the end of the day, he was driving very badly. Corner senga si trader kumusanga yohana. Neka tulife na. Bombo road teyetaga kupapirako. It's mathematics. Do you think it's better to focus on building a business than doing assets? I don't know what you mean, because even a business is an asset. You also need to understand that it depends what your specialty is, and depends what you call assets. Me, I find that a business that you can build and in like 5 years you don't need to be there for it to run is like the biggest asset. Okay, you can probably buy property. You can buy property, but I find that for you to buy property, it will probably need you to have some excessive capital, money you don't really need to use. Ngamugeya ku baneighbor baffe tolina kyobageyako. Isaac, baneighbor baffe tolina kyobageyako. Everyone is doing their own thing. Kati obageye ki? Tugeya family okusinga. Tugeya family okusinga ne twogera ku baganda bange, ne twogera ku baganda be, twogera ku basenga bakojja. Baneighbor tolina kyo kubato bakati environment ko tubera baneighbor mukoma ku hi is environment is organized bwe tubanga bazungu. Neighbor oyinza omulaba ku Monday n'oddamu n'omulaba ku Sunday nga mugenda ku church. Morning, how much is a plot in Matuga? It depends where in Matuga. It can go as much as 25. It can go as low as 10, I think. It also depends. Do you want to buy Kabaka land? Do you want to buy Chibanja? Do you want to buy land, titled land? Nicholas, good morning. So Juma, I don't know what do you think is an asset? What do you think is an asset? Because personally, I have found that land doesn't actually appreciate the way as much as they purport it to appreciate. Bombo Road will humble you. Obo yo guy ajukira nti yabisirizaako mu corner trailer ne musanga. Chaimani, good morning Chaimani. Kenya Abby is saying van is multi-purpose vehicle. I think serves all. And Kaka is saying if you haven't reached that level of having your partner as a Rugambo mate, which are Iwala, tibana graduating. Between the Rabe Morocco and Tujigeya. We will keep the secret. No one will second ya get the what cutting. Good morning, Jalia. How are you today? Timmy, good morning. So today I'm trying to make sure we talk about vans so that we don't buy vans when we don't need them. So that we don't avoid buying a van when you actually need a van. So for starters, we need to understand the pricing of the vans. Okay, the vans include category. We are talking about the Noah, we are talking about the Alphard, we are talking about the Nissan Serena, we are talking about the Velfire, which again, we are talking about Bajita Mazda Biante. Those are vans. Which other van exists now? Those are the vans that actually we can talk about these days. And then the other cars, the Wish is the minivan. Okay, so I'm asking, do you really think you need a van currently? Now that we have understood what vans are raised cars that can seat more than 5 people, because my car sits 4 passengers, me I'm number 5. The van like the Nua, like the Alphard sits 7 passengers, and then the drive is number 8. Okay, now when we think about cars like Chigege and Drone, they can seat 14 people, 14 passengers, and the driver, that's 15. Okay, now if you go and upgrade, like I'm trying to upgrade my permit Synergy Funa, you are allowed to drive 16 passengers. no, 15 passengers plus yourself. So it means you can get a drone get uza abantu 15 now likulwa 16. You get. So but we are trying to dissect, understand, do we really need a van? Do you really think you need a van? I would like to get your thoughts first. Of course, someone has already told us that the van is multi-purpose. Abby has told us. Kati probox kusikaketya mukama katonda. Probox esiketya naye bannange. Probox kusikaketya. Jokana, I was supposed to fast in the morning. Starting. Sorry. Do you guys think we need our 733? Mulaba Subaru eyo baji wa kana. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well today. Nange ngezako omanyi Uganda si nyangu, but you have to try. Sajazimbe chikomera chibulungi ono. Alina chwane outlet y'amazzi. Naye wali ulikyalina okuzima ino kitekamu amayinja because kisenyi super. So we are talking about vans. Do we really need vans in this day and age? For starters, the Wish is a minivan. The Gaia, Subaru Exiga is a minivan. I don't know if it takes 7 people. Every other 7-seater car is actually a minivan if it's not raised like the new one. Okay? The van actually has to be raised. Sienta, the Sienta mini van. The thing happens with Spacio that is 1.5 Normally, I say if you're going to buy a Spacio and you want to use it for heavy work, buy 1.8 liter. You get. Because the 1.8 Spacio has the same engine as the Primo model and as the RAV4 that recently one of us bought. They have the same engine. So if I've been watching it, so let me talk about the prices. For starters, the Wish and the Nua in the bond run around the same time, same price, 35 million, 36, 37. Because depending on where you buy, depending on your term conditions and all that. 35, 36, 37. That's the Wish and the Nua. Now, you have to understand that every other car, apart from the Alphard, of course the Alphard goes a little higher, but all these other cars, they'll be at around the same price. The Exiga, all those other cars will be running at around the same price. So Kakati after, because the Nua 2010 actually looks nice, there's a Nua that has a Valvetic engine, almost the same engine like the Nua runs. Almost the same engine that the Nua runs. I mean the and the Valvetic engine, I will tell you that it's one of the best engines you can buy in this day and age. What's up? It's almost like driving a hybrid. Driving a Valvetic is almost like driving a hybrid. So I personally think that in this day and age, with the kind of technology we have around in Uganda, instead of buying a hybrid, just buy a car that has a Valvetic engine. it will give you good mileage, because the Wish can actually go up to 35 kilometers per liter. I still have to study what can make you go up to 35, but it could go up to 35, because I remember Msomesa came to visit me. He was doing about 9 to 11 kilometers. Right now, Yangambi, he's doing has a bigger engine, which take so first together. So as we wait for others to come on, Deep in Coffee was asking, a friend of his wants to buy a car together with his brother. They are brothers, they want to buy a car together, and he's asking what problems they will face if they join to buy a car 2 months, 5 months. If they were living in the country, that's where the problem would definitely come from, because normally the problem of buying a car together is that you may want to move when the other person also wants to move, yet you both own the car. So now if you both own the car and one of you has to go, the other also has to go, the conflict might arise as to also conflict might arise where someone is saying lwaki gwayagala okugivuganga ennyo wekka, lwaki nange tondeka nange nenkivuga as much, ne bwaba talina gyalaga. Sometimes bitera okuba, it's human. Everything that we used to do when we were young kids, we can still do as adults. We don't really, we mature, but we keep being the same person. But since they live in the country 2 to 5 months, I'm thinking that's a manageable thing. Although still, well, it's a very good financial decision. In all honesty, I think since they don't live in the country, let them just go for it. The issue is now, in whose names is the car going to be? Are they going to form like a trust that and the car will belong to that trust? What happens? Because we've seen things like yesterday when we were discussing about family, and someone told us that a friend of his, hey Ragna, hey, look at me, Ragna, look at me, stand up, stand up. You're smiling to show me you're not sleeping. So a brother of his sold his 3 acres of land, a blood brother. That's something I would never do to my brother, but you don't know what extremes people can go to when they are exposed to the chances of actually going to those extremes. So now that's the other challenge. Because the car can only be owned by one party. You can't own it together. It's not like land where you can add 2 people. And I think even land right now, you cannot own it 2 people because they will need a TIN number. Probably with land they will need 2 TIN numbers. But with the car you can only own it 1 person. So bagenda jisamanya gani? That's the question. Timmy saying, one day also please talk about land selling titles. So most people buy vans aren't utilized, no bees that requires loading, no family of up to 6. Why not get a cheaper Alteza? Excuse me excuse me guys. In a way Jalia makes sense. So actually network against of network, no? I was telling you that most of the vans are 35 million. They can go up to 40, but 35 you can get a good van from the bond. And that will definitely serve the purpose if you really have a purpose to serve with the van. But majority of the time people buy vans just for the sake of buying vans. That's most of the times. And sometimes when you look at women, most women just buy big cars for the sake of buying big cars because they want them. They really never have something to use those big cars for. Like women just want SUVs. So like Jadia is saying, most people buy vans and they don't really use them that much. No business that requires loading. They don't have big families. So they end up just driving the car around. And yeah. So normally what would happen? The best thing for you to do is to buy a smaller car. Some people should actually be buying parcels, and the new parcel doesn't really look that bad. You just don't have to drive it like you're driving a Corolla. A Corolla is a big car, and right now it's an SUV. I'm at the same level as Kawundo's. I made it. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, bro. Go and also perform at Alien Skin, because that music is good. Music in Namuta. Music Namuva. Music has a lot of bukwakulizo. That's why you find that the guys that make it in music, at Alien Skin or struggles I same years manyo kutuka watu sekati atatu se watu mumanyire. Wachitegera. So, do you think we need vans? Do you think we need vans? I personally think you should only buy a van if you really need to use it for either business or if you really have a big family. And in this day and age, viani okomye viani lulina isara for sisi bilibina omyaye nangoba na nemererwa netujja ntuga viani yadukira ddala kasaya uli anti corona nagisamu yingine empya kati nganjagala ekisubaru kyemulira nti kirina amaanyi kasa kyantu kikuba masasi manyama sasi nakuga kanga njagala nga kitokota nomale nkirageko omuliro wo warafu yanvaako n'atuuka n'apaakingako nebbali n'ansiibula bbayi go But I hope you guys are doing well. So do you really think we need the vans? Or it just says, remember there is a time we talked about SUVs and we were asking, do we really need the SUVs? Like the time I've been talking about the four-wheel drive system, all-wheel drive system, and I've been telling you guys we don't really need all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The only time you need a four-wheel drive is if your car is a rear-wheel drive. But if your car is front-wheel drive car, you don't need four-wheel drive, and you don't need all-wheel drive. Of course, now with the new technology, four-wheel drive like a CVT gearbox being all-wheel drive again, normally. And also with this, the four-wheel drive system that is automatic, so basically it doesn't really consume that much fuel. But do we really need vans? Like me, with my family of 3 people that we move with every day, do we really need to buy a van? Or it will be I remember I used to have the Iptam almost every day during the lockdown, because it's only me who went to town. My kids were not going into school, and Mama Ban was working online. So in a way, and it felt like I was wasting. Is that the price in estates? Both in estates and outside. I've come to realize that all the cheap cars have engine problem. I don't know, Juma, doesn't make sense your statement. Arthur, can you advise someone to buy a car when he is not around Uganda? No, most of the people that have been trying to take a set of phone in a motor car have refused that. The last person that tried to do that, to buy a car when he wasn't in Kampala, he sent me pre-purchase inspection fee. He thought the money, because he was sending money to his mother, so he thought the money was here. So I went, inspected the car, it was available, and the mother natandika omubuzaabuza. Afterwards namugamba sente baali baziriwo. You get it? So personally I would not advise. One, for starters, it saves you from the heartache of knowing that the people that have your money have actually used it up. Also, it saves you from the heartache of buying a car when you're not here. It's important that you buy a car that you really like, and the only way you can know if you really like that car is if you're there. For example, like the person that wants to buy his Spacio new model at 25 million, and I took him to the bond and we ended up buying a Raum from the bond at 26 million. Ochitegera katogenda okwesanga nga if he hadn't been there nalemera konti jagala Spacio, because in him deep down he really wanted the Spacio. Yeje yali ayagala obachi. But the moment he looked at a new car that had no number plates and all, and he knew he was going to drive the car himself as the first in Uganda, he was really overjoyed. Natandika okujagala. Nenga, if you send me money, I'll buy exactly what you want, because I can't advise you when you're not here, because you cannot feel what I know you would feel. Also, the gentleman that bought the RAV4 that we had, he had already wanted the RAV4, but his money wasn't enough, so he was going to buy the IST, which was also a bad decision. So, but without seeing the RAV4 himself, anyone would buy him the IST. So I would not advise anyone to buy a car when he's not in the country. Wait, come back to the country, take your 2 days looking for a car and get it. And if you're buying from the bond, you won't even need 2 days. In 1 day you go to the bonds. The only thing is to find a good deal. Good morning, Vianney. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Chris Fitness. So do we really need vans? Go back to number what do you really need to go and buy a minivan, a van, the Noah, the Alpha, which take data? And what exactly do you use that car for? A van, why do you think we need vans? Which take data? Personally, one reason I'm going to buy a Noah is for advertisement. In Japan, and I advertise my business, because like now in the morning I've driven, my car has been seen about 600 times, not just 600. The border guys have seen it, the other cars have seen it. From Bombo Road, now I'm in Chisasi, so you can imagine the traffic that I get, that people see. So that and the Noah has a very big surface area. You can put stickers all over that thing. And the license I'm going to get the license of transporting my workers, my employees. So, you need to have a reason as to why you're buying something. So why do you think people would want to buy a Noah, other than the fact that they have the money to buy the Noah? Because it's not chili yao. Because he can afford it. So do you think people still need to buy vans? I mean, there are minivans that can do the function of a minivan. The Sienta can take up to 7 people. I've seen the ISIS can do the same. There is a Paso Set, it can do the same, consuming even less fuel. The Spacio, of course the Spacio doesn't come into the country anymore, but the Spacio can do the same if you're buying used car. Which take it. And for majority of people, even a Paso is enough. Me, I keep telling you, me, I will drive a Paso. You know, when you find more than one, go to Numa, ngena muboni as you Paso, ngankavuga. Nakabaka moroka kanka kubiri. Ngankavuga majority of the week. Kasevinga mafuta karukumi yako, karukumbi satu. Which take it. And I know they are CVT, so manualite beta kilometer anga 25. Coming from my home and back, I use mutwaro gumu bidi. Which take it. Talk of advertising. Do you need to pay tax for advertising stickers on the car? There was a tax that was trying to be introduced in Kampala, but I don't think it has matured. However, you need to pay license for that car, a commercial license, because now your vehicle, the moment you put stickers, it ceases to be a private vehicle. It's a public vehicle. So you go for advertisement, which means it's a commercial. So go third party. okitegeera ne license gyosasula. Is the Nuwa a minivan? The Nuwa is a van. So if the Nuwa is a minivan, which is a van, Katoro at Ipsam, the Nuwa is a van. The Chigeges are mini buses. Nobody would cost mini buses because they take many people. Me personally, I can buy a Nuwa because I want to start poultry farm van. Poultry farm. The van is good for that. Drone is a van. Neno kijja beewuunyisa nti the drones were not meant to take passengers. The Chigeges were not meant to take passengers. Ezo zimulabanga mirimu emito gyaffe gye tukolera wano ezisinga tezaalina kutwala abasazi, zizinga kutwala cargo. Those are cargo vans. Okitegeera. So because those are cargo vans, it qualifies the Nuwa, the super custom to be vans. Because if you call a Nuwa a minivan, then you call a super custom a minivan. Yet the super custom is the same size as the drone. You get it? So drone, if you go to those, if you're going to buy a wala yuna wabira chimangins chakuteka mubiri. Ene nkuba egenda kutonya buli wamu agenda kufladinga. Era n'esiimi okuba nti emmotoka nagifudde van roller. Ati mpanvu eringa Vanguard. So do you guys think that people should be buying that Nuwa in front of us? Do you really think people should be buying that? Do you think they should be buying a drone? Do you think they should be buying the Alphard? Should they buy the Alphard? And why? I find that, personally, I also find that even SUVs are overrated for a person that has yetagagura muntu nga ina sense. Yetagagura muntu nga ina sente. Nga azewulira. Both SUVs and vans. Of course, the vans are much more cheaper to buy because you'll find that the Nuwa in the bond is the same price as the Wish, same price as even cheaper than a Primo. Okitegeera. Negamba after mugalaba nti gabbeeyi. Tano bisatu kinana kangule ku mafuta wano bati biraga abasooka okuzimba ennyumba muli mutya leero for the love of kazi sabula tugende musomesa odudde baba odudde okudadde baba. But the fact is today's rain they will feed it lwafa munange zino petrol station bwe zijjuza tanka tezijjuza tanka naye petrol station enyuma ejjuza obulungi tanka yeringa tanka yekubidde kyemmanga. Oyina visa? Oyina teekamu bwe kikoona ng'ojjamu teekikamu amafuta nzigudde guteekamu amafuta gagende mugata machini. Naye visa kadi emmotoka eri kumpi mufulu tanka lindako mala olaba kadi nti nzirina izo leeta gundi zonga kadi sizitambudde nazo. Teekamu teekamu bwe kikoona ng'ojjamu eri kumpi mufulu tanka soka jagendamu emitwalo nga5 oba 6 enomo bipa watalina makulu. Musomesa ako abasekeredde tewali kiteekaawo tunateekamu amafuta anti agenda kujjuza tanka. Tagenda kulwawo. Atya talinaako sente senga nagenze da. Good morning people, we are talking about vans. Do you really think that twetaaga okugula vans? Bano bangula Fadi, bangula Nuwa. tuzeetaaga oba banana looking for cheap fuel. Shero yawa no waitawo mukoto eri cheaper than the rest. Nkulaba okwange amalega gagateekawo jamuwalira mugenda muwulira owekiro bakati omuntu ali ewaka nga abadde ayagala muloka girekayo tagenda girekayo, agenda tambula nayo. So Mark is greeting two people. Fesebo totulaba Mark alina ba favorite kirabika. Does someone need to buy a van? Noah, Alphard, Bajita, Mazda Biante, Bani Subaru Tainayo van. Vianney, does Subaru have a van? Jane Ninga van, Chinachi Gaya, Bajita, Subaru, it's a Shilinga Gaya, Chabiko, be a Maviga. Buy a van just in case you'll need the extra capacity. In Uganda, I personally have found that people don't really, the moment they buy those vans, they start misusing them. Which again. So personally, I think buy a van if you really have a business that needs to use the van. Which again. After yesterday, I saw a guy carrying a big water tank on the Mugwagwa now. Naye tekajja lwawo teekamu kigenda.